Okay, delegates, as you make your way in, please find your district sign and sit in that row that it's next to, please.
So District 2 is here.
Yeah.
So District 3 is just one row? There's going to be more kids in there.
Yeah, I think it's actually, I think it's this whole section right here. It starts there. I think we have multiple rows for District
Because
3.
we're going forward 1 and we're going back 3.
Katie? Yeah. So we've got 15 here and we've got 16 chairs across. So D1 can fit in one row.
Yeah.
Okay.
D2 has
So-
2, D3 is 3.
So where does D3 starts
Yeah.
here? But you're going to go so move D2 forward.
Yeah,
Let's do
so
that.
there you go.
Just from the chair or wherever they need to identify.
Okay. So that means that these two are D2. Then where does 4 start?
Are you guys D4 or District 4? Are you District 3 or 4?
Okay. So that one's right.
So the keep there. So are you guys starting District 5? Okay.
We're good.
You're good?
Wait, with like 24?
And then, what's that?
Wait, with the 24?
What do you mean with the 24?
They said I should have 24. Is that what you're asking?
Okay, yes.
No, I only have like 12.
Okay, but you need to stand up and not be in one of the seats.
Okay.
Yeah, Megan, come on.
Are you getting,
My numbers, I
Yes.
have 30 out of 35.
okay. So then we have 6 here. You're the start of 6? Are you 5? Okay. Okay, it's right there.
6 starts
6
here, they
here.
also have 3.
Okay,
7 starts here, they have 2.
okay.
Just put a row gap between them. Let's keep a row separating the general population and the delegates.
Yes, yeah.
7
that
ends
way-
right here.
You won't fill this place, so
No. Actually, we should
me?
just tell them. If you're a guest and not a delegate, please stay towards the back so that we know where the delegates end. Thank you.
you guys are District 10, right? Yeah. Don't let anybody sit in this row. I want this row open.
And you're the start of D9?
Not talking about like.
And you're D8?
I don't know. Is there a D8 president
No.
coming up?
No, Taylor McNamara is going to be your person.
So I think that makes it
Okay?
right. That would
You're D8 though? D8? Okay.
I thought you were saying we're D8. Last time I checked,
D8. No, D8.
So just the rows that have the signs.
Yes. So anybody past, well, some of these have multiple rows. So
I
like
think
this is
we all,
D8.
we only have 2 rows, I think.
This is D9. This is D10. And then it stops here on this side.
Okay, so after this line.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And we're not passing the stand part yet?
I'm waiting for everybody to kind of get in here so we don't have to do it multiple times.
No, man. That makes sense, no? Efficiency.
Trying.
I'm here seeing how many delegates. I'm just a delegate myself. So I say there's 5 delegates present.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're going to have Seth standing here for you guys.
Oh, okay. Well, till he comes.
Yeah, you can do it.
Out
Do
of
it
how many
until-
delegates?
My lab.
wherever it
Okay.
was plugged in before.
Is your secretary's report, are you reading it for information purposes only, or do you need it accepted?
I don't know what you usually do for that.
Um,
I think it's
they're
for
all
information.
informational.
Yeah,
Heidi
so
Moss.
instead of that, wait, can you go back? You just said this part is right.
What's that?
Was the only thing the Constitution on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know where
You
Heidi
should have
Moss
the
is
rest.
from? Anyone know where Heidi Moss is from?
And then right
I do not.
Okay, we don't know, so we're.
Hey, we need that piece of paper. that's okay. You may not end up with your full number. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started here with handing some things out. This year, instead of using the clickers, we're going to do a voice vote for everything, and if we can't determine the result based on voice vote, then you're each going to have the option to hold up a green sheet of paper that says yes on it. Okay, that's your vote in favor of the motion. And then we have red sheets of paper that have no on them. And your district president or state officer will count those pieces of paper when you stand up. You're going to stand up with a piece of paper so we can see it clearly. Are there any questions about that piece of it, how you're going to vote? Okay. So we got several items of business that we need to cover, including state officer reports, committee reports, constitutional amendments, and the election of the state officers. So that's our agenda for today. You'll see everything that if there's any changes, they'll be put up on the screen for you, along with the committee reports. Are there any questions that we can answer at this point?
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have the opportunity of electing the officers later on, and you also have some items of business. I hope that you've gone through the amendments and so forth, and you've seen some of the changes that could be happening, and you can implement the state. Because of that, as a meeting protocol would happen in a formal business session, gentlemen and ladies, I'm going to ask you to remove your hats. Okay, we are in a public place. This is a public meeting. To be respectful, let's keep our hats off, and let's show that respect. Thank you so much.
Okay, so in a minute, the district presidents and state officers are going to count the number of delegates in your district, and we're going to read those off and make sure that we have a quorum. Give us a minute and we'll get started. Yeah, you can go ahead and pass. Make sure everybody gets a red one and a green one.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Clayson, and this is Mrs. Bresick, and we're kind of help oversee this. You'll see some other things happening too throughout the day. You'll meet some board members and so forth for recognition. But today I want to go over some things with you. Some of you have been delegates before. You've seen us go through with an automated clicker system, and I'm talking mostly to the delegates right now. If there is a vote that is not a voice vote, but you have to do a 2/3 vote, you will be using your paper system this year. There's not a lot of items, so we just did not use the electronics this year. So if the vote is going to be yes and you are in favor of that vote, what do? Raise up yes. Make sure you do not raise up yes and no together, because that's a conflicting vote and it will not be counted. So if it's a no, you're going to raise up what? No. Okay, I think we have a successful test. A couple other things I want to talk to you about this morning is, or I should say afternoon, is you're going to hear the chair. She's going to go through and she's going to read you the delegate process and the voting process and what happens when a motion is brought up on the floor. If you want to bring a motion up or you want to second a motion, you need to make sure you raise. Don't just say a second, or don't just jump up and start saying it. You need to stand up. You need to be recognized by the chair. The district president will then probably, if there's a floating mic, will give you the mic so that you can tell the student body what your motion is. But you need to make sure you say your name, your chapter, what the motion is very clearly, so that we can have that for the records for secretary for the minutes. For seconds, the same thing. Second the motion. So, Madam Chair, they recognize delegate from District 5. You say, I second the motion. My name is so-and-so from VBS. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Then you need to take and you need to legibly write that down on a scrap piece of paper that your district presidents will have. Then that will go back to the district president, and we'll keep that for a backup in case we need for names and spellings and so forth. So make sure you write it legibly. So unplug from the phone, unplug from the autocorrect and the auto typing, and actually spell it out nice and neat for us so that we can have an accurate record for it. Because some of the decisions you're going to make today will impact the state for the next couple of years or however long it needs to. This is a business session. Please show respect. Please do keep your phones, put them on vibrate. Turn them off if you don't need them, unless you're talking to your advisor, but make sure you keep them off and not distracting. That would be really helpful and appreciative, and that's how it works in the business world. If you are a delegate and you have to go to the bathroom, contact your district president at the end of the row. They will then say, okay, I've got one delegate from District 9 that had to use the restroom. You've got about 5 minutes to get back. That district president's going to kind of keep watch of that, because we're going to be voting. We have to have an accurate number for quorum, for passing and failing votes, and also to make sure if we have to do a 2/3 vote, we have to keep an accurate number. So the number we're going to call off here momentarily, that's going to be the number we're going to use. District presidents, in a couple of minutes, we're going to call roll call. After that time, no more delegates can come in and vote because we need to get started, and we can't have the numbers change. Any questions for the good of the order? Any questions at all? You guys ready to get this thing done? Yeah, me too.
Board of Trustees, please make their way to reserved seating. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go through and let's do it. Well, let's just have what they have, and let's see if that's right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do roll call before the session starts so we know what we have. All right, so I'm going to say District President from District 1. How many delegates do you have present?
6 out of 15. All right.
District 2. District 3. District 4. That's 14 out of 24, correct? Okay, be clear. District 5. District 6, nice and loud. Did you get that? District 7. District 8. District 9.
22 out of 26.
22, yep. District 10. 16. 16 out of 27? Okay. What time is it? At this point, we're going to call that the delegate roll call is official. This is the numbers we're going to go with. If there's anybody comes in who's late, it's too late. I'm sorry.
District presidents and state officers, like she's got 14. If you count 15, that's too many, okay? So don't go over the number you just counted. Okay.
One last announcement, and I don't know if it's in the podium book or not. We're going to have a district meetings after this for district president elections. The only delegates that can vote there are the ones who are present in the current roll call. So if you're at a district meeting and all of a sudden you're supposed to have 15 delegates and 22 show up and there was only 15 here, then that's a no vote. We have to go back. So remember that, delegates. Only you can vote in your district ones that are here voting today. You're part of the official roll call of the day. She can do that.
Hello? Oh, sorry, really loud. You have 268 voting delegates here at this point, which means that in order to pass anything with a 50% margin, you need 135 yes votes. And in order to pass anything with a two-thirds majority vote, or two-thirds vote, you need 179 votes. So, just so you are aware.
Go ahead, Camille.
The convention hall will come to order. We are now holding the third general session of the 92nd New York FFA State Convention. Mr. Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they are at their stations, and report back to you, Madam President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the doors are open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the president in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the states of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Mr. Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist in directing the work of our organization at all times. I preside over the meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we shall follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Madam President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
I am pleased to announce that at this business session of the New York State FFA Convention, there are 327 members and guests present, Madam President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this, the third general session of the 92nd New York FFA State Convention duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. How many of us have ever played Marco Polo? So the game doesn't really have a lot to do with the great navigator's life. However, the one comparison we can make is that when trying to navigate around whatever space we're in while playing it, we have to effectively communicate. We may never have heard of Marco Polo if he wasn't able to effectively communicate his message to someone else who was listening intently and writing it down, just like our committee secretaries did today. As delegates, we have been chosen to navigate and make changes to New York FFA's course for the following year. We will do this by playing square with others, listening and working well in our teams just like we would if we were playing Marco Polo. The work we do here affects not just our home chapters, but chapters around the state. We're being asked to think outside the box, as well as be open-minded to new ideas. Just like when I'm out on a hike in the Adirondacks, there are so many ways to reach our end goal, whether that's climbing a mountain, hiking to Trout Falls, or drafting a well-written committee report. A true navigator takes the course that will best suit the interests of the group. In this session, we have the privilege of electing the new navigators for New York FFA, and also make decisions on the course that we will take in the coming year. Delegates, give yourself a round of applause as we gear up to be good navigators and positively change our organization. As a reminder, today's order of business includes the election of state line officers and committee work. We will begin with committee reports, confirm our American degree recipients, and elect state line officers, and then read the slate for district presidents. Additionally, your district president or district leader has paper that you can use to write down any motions or seconds to motions that are made. Please remember to speak clearly and wait for your motion to be acknowledged by both the chair and the recording secretary. There are 268 total delegates voting. Throughout the business session, delegates must remain seated so that we can maintain an accurate count of delegates. A brief recess may be called if necessary. In case of an emergency, find and follow the instructions of your district president. If you need to leave for any reason, you must tell your district president and wait for their permission. District presidents, please keep Mr. Hill informed and aware of any changes in your delegate numbers so that we can know what number of votes constitutes a majority. First on our agenda are state officer reports. These reports are read for information only and do not require a vote. Please help me to welcome State Secretary Catherine Killenbeck with the state officer report.
Over the course of the 2016-2017 year, New York FFA has been blessed with many memorable events. July 3rd through August 5th, members spent 5 awesome weeks at Camp Oswegatchie, spending time with state officers, enjoying the great outdoors, and making friendships that last a lifetime. 60 members spent a week on the Intense Conference from August 1st to 5th, touring New York State, visiting colleges, ag businesses, and agricultural facilities, learning about the great agriculture that New York has to offer. At Empire Farm Days, members competed in CDEs and interacted with agriculturists and ag businesses from across the state. From August 24th to September 5th, members competed at the Great New York State Fair in their favorite CDEs, interacting with other members and state officers, and seeing the best agriculture in the state. Members had the opportunity to travel out of state to the Big Eastern States Exposition in Springfield, Massachusetts, to see the diverse agriculture of the Northeast and compete in CDEs and LDEs, and had the best baked potatoes and blueberry pies of their lives. October 1st through the 7th, members got to hang out with their state officers and chapters near their homes during State Officer Tour. State officers traveled all over the state, meeting members and seeing various agribusinesses. On October 8th, chapter officers headed to Cornell University for Colt Conference, participate in workshops, and enhance their leadership skills, see Cornell's beautiful campus, and meet other members from other chapters. The 89th National New York State FFA Convention was October 17th to October 27th. Members traveled to Indianapolis for the incredible experience. We competed in CDEs, participated in workshops, and had a blast in session. New York was so proud to watch New York's own Ashley Willits get elected to national office. January 27th to 28th, members went into the wild for the 212 360 conference. We had a blast in the fun night, and workshops brought out the best leaders in everyone. For the centennial anniversary of agricultural education, members traveled all the way to Albany, February 6th and 7th, to meet lawmakers, see the beautiful state capitol, and see the process of lawmaking in action. On March 18th, members competed in CDEs and LDEs for their opportunity to compete at state convention, and candidates went through the district president nominating committee. Congratulations to all competitors. FFA's most passionate members ran for positions on the upcoming state officer team on April 6th through the 8th at the Embassy Suites in Syracuse. It was an incredible experience for all. Congratulations to all candidates. On May 11th through the 13th, members and guests came to Morrisville State College for the legendary 92nd New York State FFA Convention. Between sessions, tours, workshops, and competitions, members are making memories that will last a lifetime. Respectfully submitted, Catherine Killenbeck, 2016-2017, New York State FFA Secretary. This report has been read for information only.
Thank you, Katie. Next, Jacob Axe will be presenting the Treasurer's Report.
New York FFA has had a great year. We have taken in a total of $189,632.03, mainly from the Leadership Conference registration, FFA dues, and the Agriculture Education Leadership Council. Also, we are very grateful to all of the generosity that we've received from our donors this year. These funds allow us to open opportunities to FFA members across New York State. Our total expenses as of March 31st, 2017 were $188,189.18. This was spent mainly on leadership conferences, national FFA dues, state convention, and the state fair. We currently have $26,344.65 in our accounts. Respectfully submitted, Jacob Axe, 2016-2017 State FFA Treasurer. This report was read for information purposes only.
Thank you, Jake. Will Mr. Lighthall please come forward to present the report on the Foundation Board?
Good morning, delegates. Good afternoon, delegates. On behalf of the New York State FFA Foundation Board of Directors, of which we have 12 members, I am pleased to report that the foundation is having an excellent year. We have had a record year in fundraising thus far, and we're very proud to continue to support your efforts in your endeavors as FFA members. I don't know what are we showing it? Okay. And this year, this spring, we had a video presentation made to help to promote the purpose of giving to the organization. And is it going to be shown right now? So take a look at this video, please.
We all reach a point where it's time to hang up our blue jacket. But even after we retire our jacket, there's still ways we can give back. One way is as simple as giving a donation. $15 can put a plaque in the hand of an FFA member at state convention. $35 can pay for the participation fees for a national convention. And we all remember putting on our FFA jacket for the first time. And for $50, you can recreate that experience for another FFA member. But financial donations aren't the only way to give back. We all learn a lot while we're in FFA, and even more as we go through life and gain new experiences. We have a lot to bring to the table, and we all know that learning goes far beyond the classroom.
About 7 years ago, I worked with the past ag teacher here. He had a couple of red tractors, and he knew that I tinkered with them a little. He wanted to know if I'd come down and work with some boys doing it. Yeah. Well, then Mr. K come. He took his practice teaching session here. All of a sudden, he come to me one day and wanted to know if I'd be on his advisory board. I said, sure. He says, I'm going to be the new ag teacher here. Well, I said, well, congratulations. Before I got involved too far in FFA, I would not have got up in front of a group to speak. I was chapter president before I graduated. My goal, kind of quietly, my goal was to make sure that ag stayed in Moravia in FFA. Right for the present, it looks like it's going to. We've got 6 acres under plow. We got a high tunnel and a greenhouse, and we're going to have another high tunnel. We got a young group. They don't have all the answers. I don't either. I've got a lot of knowledge about a lot of things, but so I'd like to transfer some of that to the students. In all honesty, I'm learning too. This new math, I've learned all about new math. I can't do it yet, but I know that there's a different way of doing it than the way I done it. They make sure that they can change a light bulb, check electrical circuit to see if it's, what's wrong with it, simple little things. Some of them things that get missed in a normal classroom.
Each year, over 1,000 hours are donated just for CDEs and LDEs across the state, and even more on the chapter level. On whatever scale you choose to give back, you will have an impact on the members in New York and an organization we all love.
Let's give it up one more time for Mr. Lighthall.
Thank you.
Will Mr. Starring please come to present the report on the alumni?
For you, those of you who don't know, the FFA Alumni Organization is a extension of the FFA for those who graduate high school. It's a vision to support students whose lives are impacted by the FFA and agriculture education will achieve academic and personal growth, strengthen American agriculture, and provide leadership to build healthy local communities, a strong nation, and a sustainable world. We're here to support teachers, chapters, and members to excel in the agricultural industry. The New York State FFA Alumni Association has gone through a lot of changes this past year, including the election of a new officer team. Paulette Schiebel is our new president. I'm our new vice president. Heather Perry is our new secretary, and Sheila Shrika will serve as treasurer. With our new officer team in place, we are now working to implement a structure to include district representatives from each of our 10 districts and establish a board of directors. Over the next few months, we'll be starting to plan meet and greet events in each district to get information out to all the local chapters. If there's any teachers or students interested in hosting an event in their district, please contact myself or the mentioned officers above. We do have a booth out in the job fair booth. As a new officer team, we have successfully completed one of our first projects with the state officer team in creating and selling cancer awareness t-shirts. To date, No Member Fights Alone t-shirt campaign has raised $361 to donate to pediatric cancer research. We'd like to extend an invitation to all of FFA members and seniors in the audience to join the New York State Alumni Chapter upon completion of your high school career. It's a great opportunity for you to help the future agricultural programs. Lastly, we want to extend a thank you to Mr. Roger Barkman, Matt Hibbard, and Andrea Compton for their many years of service to the Alumni Association and making the transition for the new team very successful. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to growing the future of the great organization with all of you.
Thank you very much. Now we will hear our committee chairs read their final reports of their committees. After each committee report, the committee chair will move for the acceptance of the report. Committee reports have an implied second. At this point, the floor will be open for discussion or amendment to the reports. Once the report has been accepted by a majority voice vote, it will move forward to the state officer team and the Board of Trustees for consideration and action. We will begin with the first committee, which is Program of Activities. The committee chair is Kevin Brown from VVS.
Whereas some events are widely participated in and others are not. Whereas some districts are not active in many events. Whereas event feedback is not always recognized. Whereas there is a lack of exposure for New York State FFA newsletter. Whereas students are not always aware of the New York State FFA social media accounts. Whereas junior FFA members are not always involved in chapters. Whereas some conferences can become repetitive. Whereas members value meeting new people at events. And whereas water and snacks are not always available to members, therefore be it resolved that the pre-registration for events be available for members and advisors at New York State FFA Convention. Let it be further resolved that the booths be set up at the Convention Expo to provide information about events, and let it further be resolved that workshops be available at New York State FFA Convention to inform members about events. Let it further be resolved that surveys should be given at the end of FFA-sponsored events through online links. Let it be further resolved that a paper copy of the FFA newsletter be sent to the advisors. Let it be further resolved that incentives be awarded to event participants. Let it be further resolved that workshops be held to engage middle schoolers in their chapters. Let it be further resolved that workshops and conference material continuously change. And let it be further resolved that more outreach games or programs be available at conventions and workshops. And finally, let it be further resolved that snack stations be set up around convention. On behalf of the New York State FFA, I submit this committee report. Madam Chairman, I move to accept this committee report.
No second is needed. Is there any discussion? 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 Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll now hear from the second committee, which is Camp Programs and Facilities. The committee chair is Carly Estep from the Greenville FFA.
Whereas campers that attend Oswegatchie Educational Center are looking for new activities at camp, and whereas members who have attended camp multiple years are seeking more advanced opportunities, and whereas Oswegatchie Educational Center has provided opportunities to us as FFA members for the past 70 years, and whereas the students in the Counselor in Training program feel as though they are not being properly utilized. Be it resolved that the program director considers vet science training, self-defense training, archery tag, and an escape room experience, and be it further resolved that camp offers an advanced camping experience including axe and knife throwing, blacksmithing, and an outdoor adventure camping, and be it further resolved that the membership would like to give back to camp through service project and camp improvement, and be it finally further resolved that a minimum requirement should be set in the staff handbook, as well as minimums regarding student age and camp attendance. Respectfully submitted, Carly Estep, Committee Chair. On behalf of the on behalf of the members of New York State FFA, I move to accept this report.
Thank you. No second is needed. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Our next committee is the State Fair Committee. The committee chair is Olivia Parkins from the Warwick FFA chapter.
Whereas the current FFA building could improve with hands-on and public-oriented exhibits and does not see much traffic, and whereas a national officer previously attended the National Officer Tour in October, a national officer now attends State Fair, but very few are aware about their attendance, and whereas there is very little traffic around the FFA building, especially due to State Fair renovations, and whereas competitions at State Fair aren't well known, and there are many transportation problems that students face with attending the State Fair, and whereas there are not enough opportunities that bring New York State FFA together as a whole at State Fair. Therefore, be it resolved that New York FFA implements a timeline display case, as well as showcase each other while engaging in the public. Let it be further resolved. Students should also receive an educational pamphlet upon arriving to the State Fair in order to further educate where and when events and such are. In close, I said the pamphlet would be new and upcoming ideas and events, such as SAE projects, service projects, national chapter awards, etc. Let it be further resolved. National officers have set times for workshops listed in the aforementioned pamphlet, while exploring the possibility of having said workshops open to the public as well as FFA members. Some possible workshop topics to touch on are their experiences going through FFA CDEs, etc. Let it be further resolved. The governing board explores a possibility of having service projects so FFA members can interact with the public. Let it be further resolved. New York FFA explores new ways of making FFA presence more well known by having more members throughout fair and implanting friendly competitions for the public, as well as photo challenges and FFA members for the public. Let be further resolved that we increase participation in above committees by putting information about them in the pamphlet, showcase winners, and emphasizing these competitions are just as important as competing at state convention. And officers the same opportunities as going to nationals. Let it be further. Madam Chair, I move to accept this report.
Thank you, Olivia. No second is needed. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Our next committee is the Career and Leadership Development Event Committee. It is led by Heidi Moss.
Whereas students have difficulty performing to the best of their abilities in career and leadership, whereas development events due to lack of clarity and consistency, and whereas students are not aware of career or leadership development events or their guidelines, and whereas students have a wide range of interests and the agriculture industry is ever changing, and whereas rules and guidelines are always being altered and teachers are not always aware of the changes, and whereas students require adequate environments specific to individual style of preparation, state officers plan to incorporate career and leadership development event preparation into their chapter visits. Let it be resolved, New York State FFA reviews the rules and regulations of career and leadership development events to ensure consistency throughout all levels of competition and update wording using modern vernacular. Let it be further resolved, New York's FFA provides workshops pertaining to career and leadership developments at state convention. Let it be further resolved, contest coordinators provide students with rubrics before competitions begin. State officers record an informational video for each career and leadership development event to demonstrate how each contest is run. Let it be further resolved, New York FFA promotes the link for career and leadership development events on social media. Let it be further resolved, New York FFA creates an app that students can use year-round to be updated on events and access contest rules. Let it be further resolved, New York FFA creates a new career or leadership development event in which a specific high school student creates a lesson plan and teaches a group of junior high students about a specific aspect of agriculture or FFA. Let it be further resolved, New York FFA creates a career or leadership development event in which a student uses their artistic abilities to create a poster that advertises an agricultural product or FFA event. Let it be further resolved, New York FFA provides a workshop for FFA advisors explaining rules and regulations of career and leadership development events. Let it be further resolved, New York FFA provides students competing at state convention with two separate holding rooms. One would be a quiet working room, while the other would have presentations and activities from alumni representatives or people from local businesses. Respectfully submitted, Heidi Moss. On behalf of the New York FFA, I move to accept this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. No second is needed. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Our final committee is Public Relations, and it is led by Emily Ramprashand from the John Bowne FFA.
Whereas at times there can be a lack of explanation of social media posts, and whereas at times on social media there's a lack of use and awareness of New York FFA accounts, and whereas FFA Speaks is often overlooked, and whereas New York FFA wants to make sure that all accounts are connected, and whereas New York FFA wants to promote all aspects of FFA, and whereas New York FFA wants the public to be aware of all FFA chapters and the work they do, and whereas New York FFA wants to ensure that all members of the public are aware of the social media campaigns. Therefore, let this be resolved. Before events, a pre-event post is made and with a description of proceedings of the event. Let it be further resolved that a who, what, and where is included in all postings. Let it be further resolved that all accounts are frequently updated and are accessible by state officers and state staff. Let it be further resolved that FFA Speaks is promoted on all social media accounts. Let it be resolved universal hashtags and handles are set in place so that posts and accounts are easily accessible for its members and the public. Let it be further resolved that New York FFA shares posts from the New York State alumni, Teach Ag, and Ag in the Classroom. Let it be further resolved that New York FFA offers a statewide social media campaign that will have challenges and incentives that promotes New York FFA and agriculture to the public. Let it be further resolved that all social media campaigns are added to the calendar events. Respectively submitted, Emily Ramprashad. On behalf of the New York State FFA, I move to submit this report.
Thank you, Emily. No second is needed. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let's have a round of applause for all of the hard work put into our committee reports. We will now go through the Constitution section by section. I will read you the recommended changes. You will see the changes on the screen as well. Article 2, Section E. After approval as an active chapter, in order to remain in good standing, a chapter must have paid the prescribed membership dues, offer a minimum of 3 units of study as defined by the Commissioner's regulations in the agricultural science education discipline that are taught by a certified agricultural educator for the current year and carry on a program of activities in harmony with the aims and purposes of the state association. If an instructor does not hold the required certification or license, the program may be considered for conditional approval. Agricultural education programs may be given conditional approval if deficiencies exist in program requirements and they do not meet their program study standards completely. Programs must meet the conditions defined in the approval process within 3 years to return to full approved status. Programs in which the deficiencies have not been corrected by the end of the 3-year constitutional period will be placed in inactive status. If a program on inactive status does not meet the conditions of the reapproval within 3 years, the FFA charter will be revoked. If a program is found to exist with an instructor who does not possess a valid credential and there are no credentialed instructors available, the program approval will be placed on conditional status until such time as a credentialed instructor is in place. Extensions of conditional status for extreme circumstances may only be granted by NYSED or their designee. The chair is looking for a motion to approve the changes in Article 2, Section E. Again, I'm looking for a motion to approve the changes that were just read aloud in Article 2, Section E. The chair recognizes the delegate from District 2. Thank you. Is there a second? The chair recognizes name and chapter, please.
Jennifer McKenna from Tri-Valley. I second this motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Article 2, Section F. Any chapter not in good standing will have a 3-year grace period before they are denied participation of its members in all activities, programs, and meetings arranged and conducted by the state association. I'm looking for a motion to approve Article 2, the changes in Article 2, Section F. The chair recognizes the delegate from District 2. Please state your name and chapter. Wayman, Sharon Springs.
I move to accept the changes in Article 2, Section F.
Thank you. Is there a second? The chair recognizes delegates District 3.
Rebecca Coombe, Tri-Valley. I second the motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 4, Section B, letter B. To strike out, enrolled in a supervised agricultural experience SAE program for a local region's diploma credit. The chair is looking for a motion to accept the strikeout of letter B in Article 4, Section B. The chair recognizes the delegate in District 4.
I, Charlie Ackerman from Unadilla Valley, Section 4. I move to strike out Section B, Part B.
Can you say your name one more time, please? Thank you.
Charles Ackerman, Unadilla Valley.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 10?
Dalton Holthouse, climber. I second this motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 4, Section C. To strike out the S on grades and 7 or 8. The sentence reads, New York State membership only is available to any student in grades 6, 7, or 8 who is enrolled in a course or class in which there is no instruction in agriculture skills. Again, I'm looking for a motion to strike out the S and 7 or 8 in Article 4, Section C. The chair recognizes delegate in District 6.
I move to strike out the S in grades 7 and 8 in Article.
Thank you. Can you please state your name and chapter?
Olivia Haga, South Jefferson.
Thank you. Is there a second? The chair recognizes delegate in District 2.
I'm Mackenzie Heath from Greenville, and I second it.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 5, Section B, number 6. To strike out, submit written application for the degree. I'm looking for a motion to strike out, submit written application for the degree in Article 5, Section B, number 6. The chair recognizes delegate in District 3.
Danielle Aubrey from Hartford. I move to accept this strike.
Thank you. Is there a second? The chair recognizes the delegate in District 2.
I'm Katriana Corbett, and I'm from Greenville, and I second this.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 5, Section E, number 5. To strike through, have earned and productively invested at least $7,500, or have earned and productively invested at least $1,500 and worked 2,250 hours in excess of scheduled class time. Any combination of hours times $3.33 plus dollars must be equal to or greater than the number 9,000. Hours used for the purpose of producing earnings reported as productively invested income shall not be duplicated as hours of credit to meet the minimum requirement for the degree. Also strike through the note, effective January 1st, 2015. A student after entering agricultural education must have earned at least $10,000 and productively invested $7,500, or have earned and productively invested at least $2,000 and worked 2,250 unpaid hours in excess of scheduled class time. Any combination of hours times a factor of $3.56 plus actual dollars earned and productively invested must be equal to or greater than the number 10,000. Hours used for the purpose of producing earnings reported as productively invested income shall not be duplicated as hours of credit to meet the minimum requirements for the degree. I am looking for a motion to accept the changes in Article 5, Section E, number 5. District 4.
I move to strike this notion. Strike the motion. Jesse Howe, Oxford.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 4.
Spencer Mead from Unity Valley Central School. I second this motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 5, Section E, number 6. To accept the changes, have completed at least 50 hours of community service within at least 3 different community service activities. These hours are in addition to the paid or unpaid supervised agricultural experience hours, have maintained a C grade average or better. I'm looking for a motion to accept the changes in Article 5, Section E, number 6. Chair recognizes delegate from District 3.
Mackenzie Spencer from Salem. I move to accept the changes.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 8.
Colby Rowe from Marcus Women. I second this motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. To change the title in Article 6, the State Advisor and FFA Director and Executive Treasurer. I'm looking for a motion to accept the changes to the title in Article 6. District 8.
Megan Ross from Jasper-Truesburg. I move to accept the changes.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 6.
Conrad Wojciechowski. I second the motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Article 6, Section B. The FFA Director shall be an active member of NYAAE and shall be an agriculture, education, outreach staff person. I'm looking for a motion to accept the changes in Article 6, Section B. District 2.
Anna Hendrickson, Tri-Valley FBLA. I move to accept the changes of Article 6, Section B.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 2.
Jessica Van Buren, Sharon Springs FFA. I second the motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 6, Section C. To strike through, the Executive Treasurer shall be designated by the State Board of Trustees. I'm looking for a motion to accept the changes in Article 6, Section C. District 6.
Haley Anderson, South Jefferson. I move to strike out Section C.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 4.
Anna Thompson from Unadilla Valley. I second this motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 7, Section A. A quorum at any meeting of the New York Association of FFA shall consist of a majority of chapters with representatives whose state dues are paid as determined by the official records of the New York State FFA Association State Treasurer by the March 15th deadline. I'm looking for a motion to accept the strike-through of State Treasurer in Article 7, Section A. District 2.
Claire Norman from Pine Plains, and I move to accept the changes.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 3? Oh, sorry, you're 2, second row.
Patrick Rumack, Tri-Valley FFA. I move to second this motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 7, Section B. A quorum at any meeting of the Board of Trustees, Board of Student Officers, which makes up the or governing board, shall consist of a majority of the members of each group. I'm looking for a motion to accept the changes in Article 7, Section B. District 6.
Anna Bika from South Jefferson. I move to accept the changes.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 4.
Jenna Hitt, Unadilla Valley. I second this motion.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Article 8, Section A. Proposed amendments to the State Association Constitution must be submitted in writing to the State FFA Director at least 60 days prior to the annual meeting of the State Association to be reviewed by the governing board. Proposed amendments must be submitted by the State Advisor to local chapters at least 30 days prior to the annual meetings of the State Association. State Board of Student Officers and by the Board of Trustees and submitted by the State Board of Student Officers will present with recommendations to the delegates at the annual meeting. I'm looking for a motion to accept the changes in Article 8, Section A. District 3.
Julia Holbrook, Galway FFA. I motion to accept the changes.
Thank you. Is there a second? District 10.
Eric Witherow, Sherman. I second this motion.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Discussion. Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. That is the end of the constitutional changes. Delegates, give yourself a round of applause for getting through that.
Yes. There you go. One step closer.
The next group of people demonstrate their passion for agricultural education and the FFA with the decisions they make every day on behalf of FFA members. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the 2016-2017 trustees as they stand to be recognized. President, Mrs. Tina Miner James. President-elect, Ms. Erin McCaffrey. Treasurer, Mr. John Buskus. District 1 and 2 trustee, Mrs. Tara Berezik. District 1 and 2 alternate, Mr. David Marbut. District 3 and 6 trustee, Mrs. Tedra Bean. District 3 and 6 alternate, Mrs. Carol Wright. District 4 and 5 trustee, Mr. Paul Perry. District 4 and 5 alternate, Ms. Jessica DeVries. District 7 and 8 trustee, Mrs. Kaylee Siddell. District 7 and 8 alternate, Mrs. Michelle Klein. District 9 and 10 trustee, Ms. Holly Partridge. District 9 and 10 alternate, Mr. Adam Krenning. New York State Department Education Rep, Mr. Chike Neboguo. New York FFA Foundation Representative, Ms. Vicki Gregory. ACT Representative, Ms. Rachel Anderson. Post-Secondary Representative, Mr. Charles Axe. Student Representative, Ms. Katie Rowe. Rainey Representative, Mr. Daryl Foster. Rainey Alternate Representative, Mr. James Schiebel. Thank you for all your dedication and hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking the trustees. One group of outstanding FFA members have worked hard to qualify for the highest degree in the FFA, the American degree. This is something that all FFA members are eligible to strive for, but only the most committed actually earn. In 2016, 37 students from across New York qualified for their American degree and will receive it at National FFA Convention in Indiana this October. The students eligible to receive their degrees are Megan Parkman, Canton; Taylor Hodge, Carthage; Lindsay Palmer, Hamilton; Logan Drake, Indian River; Paige DeMunn, Jasper Troopsburg; Brent Green, Jasper Troopsburg; Tatiana Eder, John Bown; Maria Martinez, John Bown; Vigyan Ramadan, John Bown; Victoria Pila, Oxford; Thomas Ryan, Oxford; Dylan Crane, Pioneer; Elizabeth Echeverry, Pioneer; Cameron Fisher, Pioneer; Allison Herrick, Pioneer; Trisha Holton, Pioneer; Kelsey O'Hare, Pioneer; Hadley Palmerton, Pioneer; Derek Pringray, Pioneer; Ian Rogers, Pioneer; Gabrielle Danthine, Schoharie Valley; Sydney Stanley, Schoharie Valley; Gabriel Rader from Sherman FFA; Alexa Ackerley from Tri-Valley; Elizabeth Hanold, Tri-Valley; Ashton Crummich, Tri-Valley; Logan McKeon, Tri-Valley; Nora O'Keeli from Tri-Valley; Sarah LaLumiere from Warwick Valley; Aaron Langdale from Warwick Valley; Keegan Kelly from Whitman; Austin Lydiard, Whitman; Karen Long from Whitman; Alexis McDougall, Whitman; Michaela Meyer, Whitman; Robin Smithling, Whitman; and Lucas Tomian, Whitman. Congratulations to all these members and the chapters that they are from. You should be very proud of your accomplishments. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept the list of American degree recipients. District 2.
Sean Wayman, Sharon Springs. I motion to accept the list of American degree recipients.
Is there a second? District 3. District 2. I apologize.
Rebecca Coombe, Tri-Valley. I second the motion.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Congratulations to all of our recipients. The future of New York FFA depends upon the skill of our organization's leaders. The next group of people have selflessly served our organization by helping to pick the next generation of navigators to lead us. Please help me welcome the 2017-2018 State Officer and District President nominating committees as they stand to be recognized. As your name is called, please rise to be recognized and remain standing until all names have been read. The 2017-2018 State Officer Nominating Committee members are Emily Romprashan, John Bown; Haley Mason, Greenville; Madison Perea, Northern Adirondack; Samantha Thurston, Vernon Verona Sherrill; Jacob Cunningham from Canton; Catherine Kopp, Southern Cayuga; Anna Bika from South Jefferson; Rachel Smith, Genesee Valley; Catherine Mann, Albion; Aaron Langdale, Morrisville State College; Gabriel Rader, SUNY Cobleskill. Please join me in a round of applause for all our State Officer Nominating Committee members. The 2017-2018 District President Nominating Committee members are Larissa Lee from John Bown; Olivia Parkin, Warwick Valley; Dolan Gilmore, Northern Adirondack; Anna Thompson, Unadilla Valley; Jonathan Perry, Vernon Verona Sherrill; Zach Patterson from Alex Bay; Madison Clark from Marathon; Jacob Rossini, Marcus Whitman; Jamie Foster, Springville; Dalton Holthouse, Clymer. Please thank all our District President Nominating Committee members with a warm round of applause. Picture your very first time driving. Maybe it was a car, a four-wheeler, go-kart, or even a lawnmower. Think about how that first experience went. Maybe you backed into something. Or maybe, if you're like me, you're sitting on top of a tractor heading full speed ahead towards a truck and you don't know where the brakes are. The first time that my father had me navigate a tractor across our hayfield, I was terrified. but he sat with me on this old Ford tractor, showed me the basics, wrapped my 11-year-old hands around the wheel, and then let go. My legs were too short to hit the pedals, so it was a jerky ride, but he grinned at me as we circled the hayfield raking hay. All was well until he told me to drive out of the cornfield and hayfield and back to the truck. Suddenly, I had to make my own course, and it made me nervous. I crested the hill of the hayfield and spotted the truck, but instead of slowing down, my foot slipped and we sped up. The space between the truck and the tractor shrank. 30 feet, 25 feet, 20 feet, now 10 feet. My hands were white-knuckled as I gripped the steering wheel, and suddenly, I found the brakes, and we chugged to a stop not 5 feet from the truck. My first experience charting my own course was a far cry from a smooth ride. But that's the only way to learn sometimes. Despite how close we ended up to hitting his truck, my dad just laughed, and as he slid off the tractor, he turned to me and said that he still trusted me to drive that tractor, as crazy as that sounds. But that's what I did. I drove that tractor again and again. And after doing it so many times, I was able to gain confidence, and I was ready to learn more and get better. These next individuals have shown their skills in charting their own course. And we trust that they are ready to learn as they help be New York FFA's next navigators during their year of service. These next two groups of individuals have been patiently waiting for this very moment. The moment we'll be revealing the 2017-2018 district president slate and electing the 2017-2018 state officers. Anticipation and excitement have been building ever since they've gone through the nominating committee process. I would like to call Samantha Thurston to the podium to announce the 2017-2018 state officer slate.
The 2017-2018 state officer slate is as follows. State Sentinel, Christiane Frank. State Reporter, Kim Doyle. State Treasurer, Jenna Kibbe. State Secretary, Lindsay Nazimos. State Vice President, Megan Lamb. And your 2017-2018 State President, Ethan Keller. Once the state officers have been fully elected into their positions, each officer will come before this session and present a 2-minute speech.
Thank you, Samantha. Showing by general consent, nominations are closed. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept the proposed nominees to their offices. District 6. 5.
Janelle Dolan from the Adirondack chapter. I move the nomination of officers.
Thank you. There is an implied second. It has been properly moved and seconded to elect these nominees. Is there any discussion? We will now proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the 2017-2018 New York FFA state officers. At this time, will the newly elected Sentinel come and give their speech?
New York State FFA members, I want to start off by getting real with you, the realest of the reals. How many of you have watched the Netflix series, 13 Reasons Why? Well, let me tell you that this series took me on an emotional roller coaster, worse than Grey's Anatomy. 13 Reasons Why covers an array of topics that affects all of us personally, from showing how bullying can affect one so much, why being a bystander is not the answer, and how one person can have such a great impact on your life. After watching this show, I realized that everything I may do affects someone in some way, and who in my life has impacted me the most. Now, let's focus on who in my life has had the greatest impact. Can you guess who? Well, it's you, New York State FFA members. You have encouraged me to be the leader that I am today and have motivated me to achieve my dreams. Having you, our members, as my support group is something I'll cherish forever. I cannot wait for this upcoming year. I don't know if y'all are ready for it though, because I am beyond excited to have the opportunity to work with each one of you and help shape you into amazing leaders that will one day proudly represent our state FFA organization. Just how many of you have impacted me, I cannot wait for the chance to do the same. New York State FFA members, are you ready for this upcoming year? Because this year's officer team is so excited to be serving you, and I am so happy to be serving each one of you as your 2017-2018 New York State FFA Sentinel. Thank you.
Will the state reporter please come to the stage to give their speech?
Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute just sit here and say, I'll tell you how I became the reporter of New York FFA. From Southeast New York, born and raised in the garden is where I spent most of my days, hoeing out, plowing, weeding in rows, and prepping lots of vegetables with my sisters and bros. When some people in court, they were up to much good, started prepping leaders in my neighborhood. I went on one little trip, and I was hooked right away. B said, you're applying for a grant, and you're well on your way. I was slated for DP, and I ran against my peer. The ballot said almost, and I'll admit I shed a tear. At best, I could say that I've done my best, but I thought I'd blown it, go home, end the quest. I pulled up to Tri-Valley about 7 or 8. I said to my daddy, I finished, I quit. He pulled up my jacket, held it up in the air, and reminded me that suffer is no cause for despair. You see, hard work and effort is what gets us all here. We need coaches and advisors and families who cheer. Being an officer takes hard work and toil. I get it, I'm on it. I'm Kimberly Ann Doyle. I have a guilty pleasure. I love to sit at home with a bag of potato chips on the couch and watch cheesy 90s sitcoms. My favorite, though, was always The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will Smith really understood how to capture everyone's attention and make sure he was known. I've always looked up to this goofy character, and it's probably because I've always been told the same. Make yourself known and remembered. This could be because I am one of 8 children and am the youngest girl. It could be because I have always loved the stage and wanted to be an actor. Or it could be because I have no problem being a ham and laughing with others. I've realized that this quirk is important to me and will hopefully help me better connect with all of you throughout the year and make some hilarious memories that we can laugh at for the years to come. Hello, my name is Kim Doyle, and I am honored to be selected to serve as your 2017-2018 New York State reporter. It is my goal this year to make sure that each of you know how important you are to this organization. New York FFA, you have given me so much, and I could not be more excited to be able to give back to you for the upcoming year. My team and I are so excited to be able to serve you, and we cannot thank you enough.
Woo! Thank you, Kim. Will the newly elected state treasurer please come to the stage?
Being that yesterday was Throwback Thursday, let's take a walk down memory lanes. Who remembers having those cold, boring, rainy days? What are you supposed to do? Ride your bike? No. Play in the woods? I don't think so. Being the creative youngsters my older sister Jessie and I were, we would always build the coolest blanket forts in our living room and watch our favorite Disney movies all day long. Jessie would always choose to watch Lilo and Stitch. Now, my favorite quote from Lilo and Stitch is, Ohana means family, and family means that no one is left behind or forgotten. This represents me 100% because my family means everything to me. My sister and I are 2 peas in a pod. We are partners in crime, and we are always sticking together. My parents are so supportive of us, and they influence us to be the best that we can in everything that we do. Now, I'm not only close to my family, but my FFA family, you guys. Throughout the years, I've created so many friendships which are and will always stay close to my heart. FFA has provided so many opportunities for me, and I want to be able to give back to this amazing organization. So now, my favorite Disney movie would definitely be Toy Story. I don't have a favorite toy, but I do have a favorite song, which goes like, "You have a friend in me." Although this song is super easy to sing along to, I really admire the true meaning of this song. New York FFA, I am so excited to serve you guys this next year, and I want you to always remember that you have a friend in me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenna. Will the newly elected state secretary please come to the stage to give their speech?
Quick, what's the first thing that you think of when you hear the word FFA? Honestly, this is one of my favorite questions to ask FFA members because there are so many possible answers that give us the true meaning and purpose of FFA. Hi, my name is Lindsay Nasimos, and I proudly represent the Madison chapter of FFA. Ironically, my first FFA memory was probably my worst of my entire career. It was 4 years ago. I was standing in a hallway, getting ready to say my speech for the very first time. However, the only thing that I wasn't thinking of was the words to my speech. In fact, I was too worried about the exact words that Miss H said to me that got me to go through this miserable process. However, my thoughts came to an end when a man came to the door and told me it was my turn to go. Oh boy, that was probably the worst speech I had ever given, and I knew that as soon as I left that room. But it was that exact experience that set me on a course to be where I am right now, standing on this stage in front of hundreds of New York State FFA members, slated and ready to serve you as a New York State FFA officer. While that man may have just physically opened the door for me, it was the experience of that competition that opened so many more. You know, that's the great thing about FFA. The National FFA organization is easily one of the greatest youth organizations in our world today because of the endless opportunities that it offers students just like you and me. I am beyond excited to serve you as your state secretary this year because this is the perfect opportunity for me to make sure that every member, just like you, is taking full advantage of everything that FFA has to offer. I know that I wouldn't be the person that I am today without past state officers being there for me and making me feel like a priority. They open doors for me, and that is exactly what I will do for you. I cannot wait to see the memories and the doors that we will open over this year, New York State FFA. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Lindsay. Will the newly elected state vice president please come to the stage to give their speech?
In a world full of Instagram trends, Netflix soap operas, and new styles daily, it's sometimes hard to stay true to yourself. Finding what really matters in the end to most of us can sometimes be difficult. Searching for what really matters in life is only essential to the happiness of our future. Being the third generation on both sides of my family to be an FFA member, you could say it was only natural for me to fall into place and find my passion within this organization. If I think back, I can remember my first state convention. The lights, the blue jackets, and the state officers made me feel that I belonged within this organization. Thinking back to that first state convention, I never thought that I would be standing here before you as the new state vice president-elect. Now, maybe we can find our passions in other places. Maybe we have our passions found on the basketball court, or on our auditorium stage, or maybe even behind the keys of a piano. But I promise you, that once you find where your true passion lies, everything else begins to fall into line. Now, if any of you have seen the movie Divergent, you know that Janine Matthews is not a force to be reckoned with and ultimately ends up as the bad guy in the end. However, she did give some advice to the main character, Triss, that has always stuck with me. She said, "I want you to choose who you really are and where you truly belong. Not on a whim, not because you're somebody or not, but because you honestly know yourself. I want you to choose wisely, and I know that you will." New York FFA, my team and I cannot wait to start helping you choose wisely and finding your passions through chapter visits, attending Camp Oswegatchie, or maybe even showing your passion on this state convention stage. I cannot wait to meet all of you members and start our journey as the 2017-2018 New York State FFA officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Will the newly elected state president please come to the stage to give their speech?
Have you ever been so nervous that it feels like you can't feel anything except for how hard your heart is beating? Well, that was me, the first time that I ever rode the giant swing at Camp Oswegatchie. When I was strapped into that harness and dangling with my face in the trees, I kid you not, my entire life flashed before my eyes. I was sweating. My knees were shaking. I was so scared. But I was excited because I knew that I was going to have the time of my life. Hi, everyone. My name is Ethan Keller, and I am so incredibly proud, humbled, and excited to be slated to serve as your new state president. You know, I really love the giant swing. I think it's awesome because not only is it a great way to get you out of your comfort zone, but it really relates to a lot of our experiences as FFA members. If you've ever ridden on the giant swing, then you probably know what I mean. When you're secured in, you're nervous because you don't know what to expect. But at the same time, you're excited for what's to come. Then your friends and fellow FFA members lift you up to your highest point. After that, you are responsible for pulling the cord that sends you soaring through the air to receive that thrilling reward. When we take charge with the help of others, there is a reward like no other, and there's a sense of accomplishment that makes the whole buildup worth it. As your state president, I want to be able to be a part of your journey, whether that's through helping to pull you up to your highest point or celebrating your accomplishments. I want to spend this year supporting your goals so that you can have that thrilling reward. I want to help every member realize that they have what it takes to be successful in this organization. And I promise that I will always be there to listen to you and that I will always value you. Because everyone brings something unique to the table, and we can take it and use it to grow our association together. New York State FFA, my team and I are so excited and are so thankful for the opportunity to serve you and lift you up this year. I cannot wait to see what this year has in store for us, and I am so thrilled to be able to serve as your 2017 to 2018 New York State FFA president. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. Will the rest of the newly elected state officer team please join us on stage? We are so proud to have such talented and driven individuals in the FFA. And there is no doubt that some of the most passionate and driven individuals are standing on this stage with me right here, right now. We are so excited to see how you dare to inspire New York FFA and move on to chart your own course and navigate it. New York FFA, give it up one more time for your newly elected 2017-2018 state officer team. Are they taking pictures? Oh, never mind. Thank you so much for all that you will do and all that is to come in your year. We are so excited to see how it goes. We will now reveal the district president slate. From District 1, Stephanie Varakarian from John Bound. From District 2, Haley Mason from Greenville and Patrick Coombe from Tri-Valley. District 3, Alicia Seymour, Northern Adirondack. District 4, Justin Rada at Sea Lake Valley and Carly Marshman from Oxford. From District 5, Taylor Rollins from Madison and Madison Dunbar from Mohawk Valley. From District 6, Ethan Billman, Belleville Henderson, and Paige Thorne, Carthage. From District 7, Brett Jillison, Southern Cayuga. And from District 10, Gwen Chase from Sherman and Kaylee Eddy from Cuba Rushford. Congratulations to all the slated district officers. Each district president candidate that is on the slate will give a short speech during their district meetings. After those speeches, delegates will vote to elect their district presidents. Delegates, please remember that any student not slated may not be considered for election during your district meetings. Does any member or guest know of any new or unfinished business which should now be attended to in this session? Seeing none, we will move on. Delegates, thank you for helping New York FFA chart a course to navigate for the coming year. Come on back for the next session where you will hear CDE results, listen to a powerful message from the Peterson brothers, and help us recognize our proficiency winners. If you want to hear about any of the things I just said, or you want to chill with the lovely Katie Killenbeck and I, be sure to join us for session 4. Be sure to check out the tractor jousting, as well as join us for the fun run and fireworks tonight. Delegates, don't forget to attend your district meetings to elect your district presidents. Before we leave today, let's get one last round of applause for all the hard work we put in today. Those who are strong enough to endure and navigate through any storm are destined to be legendary. It's their originality that creates a lasting impact that can be known far and wide or just by you. Everyone needs inspiration in order to challenge the existing standard. New York FFA, we challenge you to be legendary. Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
How are you guys doing? All right, are you guys excited for the rest of the day? Okay. Well, we're excited to talk to you guys tonight. My name is Greg.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Kendall. And we're going to be presenting at the fourth session tonight. And so we're really excited to see you guys there. We got a great message for you. Before that, though, if you guys would like to meet us one-on-one in person, we're going to be setting up a booth at the expo from 3 to 4:30. Until the dinner tonight. So if you'd like to come see us, we'll have posters and T-shirts there that we're going to be autographing and stuff. So feel free to tell your chapters about that, and we'll see you either this afternoon or tonight. See you guys.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this meeting? Seeing none, we're about to adjourn this, the third general session of the 92nd New York FFA State Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent and labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, please join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this session adjourned.